Howdy. Let's get started with Magic Arc app. I want to show you something really cool. You'll notice we're on the Prepare for Race screen. Now, the app on a mobile device talks to the PB by Bluetooth. The controllers talk to the PB by a 2.4 gigahertz radio signal. Same frequency range as Bluetooth, but a different signal and a different communication spec. So, have you ever wondered how you could test if your controller is talking to the PB? Well, we are looking at driver 1 here, and can you see what's happening down here? That's the throttle information. And as I squeeze the controller, that throttle percentage is increasing. Maybe a little hard to see. Now I'm going to push the brake button and see brake is indicated. And now I'll push lane change. Pretty cool. Wow. Okay. In this video we're going to talk about how to create a race and how to set the settings for a race. In a subsequent video, we'll talk about how to populate a race with cars, drivers, and pace cars, but better to do it in 2 different videos. And we need to take a second. I have a question. Do you know when it became possible for the PB to talk to a computer and for the computer to talk back? Two-way comms. Well, don't get sick. I'm going to move the camera. Here it is right here. This old beast is a Simple H PB developed by Rico and Rich G and some other guys, and it gave us finally the power that we needed to race 6 cars and power the LCs. But this is more than just a Simple H PB. It's a PB Pro, because it has the PB Pro firmware. And 10 years ago, 10 and a half years ago, early 2008, version 1.6 of the PB Pro software gave us the capability for two-way comms between the power base and a computer. And there's the old manual. That happens to be manual for version 1.8. And so that was early 2008. The next thing here is my receipt in January of 2009, my birthday in 2009, for a license of SSDC. So it took a year from the power base and the ability to talk to me getting a copy of SSDC. When the power base first came out, we had something called Slot GP, and when we added comms, it became Slot GP Pro, but it didn't last. And of course, you all know the story. Simple H PB Pro became the APB. And we've had 10 years of software development that's resulted in 3 great third-party applications that can talk to this PB. But Scaly basically threw that on the deck when they came out with the Arc Pro. And so what Magic is doing is trying to recreate in a couple of months almost all of what was developed in 10 years for the APB. So he's really up to an incredible job, and all of this is leading to a commercial. Be sure to click the orange button and support what he's doing. He's an incredible guy. He's a dad. He bought a slot car set for his kids. All he owns is the Arc Pro Platinum Pro set and 4 cars. I was pinging on him about an analog bug, and he said, "Hey, I don't have any analog cars. I can't test." So pretty amazing, and let's keep him interested in this project. What he's doing is absolutely fantastic. So be sure to support him. Okay, Joey PM found something pretty cool, and I got to turn off my PB to show it to you, so hang on just a sec. Okay, you'll recognize that now we're at the main screen of Magic ArtCap, and we're going to take a look at the general configuration menu that we talked about in the last video. And oh yeah, wait just a minute, I gotta dump the app and reload it. Okay, now we're in the main screen where you create a new race. That's how you know you're at the main screen. And the arc says disconnected, right? Okay, so let's look at the general configuration menu. Wow, that's it. Where did everything go? I thought this was supposed to be a 6-card deal. Man, there's all kinds of stuff that's missing here. Watch as I turn on my PB. Hey, presto, look at that. There's all that information. Okay. And so the moral of this story is always make sure that the app and the PB are talking. And if you turn the PB off here and try and back out of the general configuration menu to the main screen, you're probably going to get a globe on an iPad it'd be a spinning beach ball, but let's take a look at that. We'll do it. Okay, there we are at the general configuration menu. Going to turn off the PB and we'll back out of this. Okay, no hey presto, huh? It stays looking the same. And now I'm going to click the left arrow at the top, and there's what we get. Please wait. And so the lesson here is just don't try to back out of general configuration if you turn off your PB. Dump the app before you turn off your PB. And so now that's what I'm going to have to do. Close the app. Okay, and everything's back up. So let's talk about how to add race, how to create a race. I'm going to click Create a New Race. And the first thing that comes up is race name. You can name your race anything that you like. Why don't we call this race Juliet? All right. You could call it Romeo if you wanted to. And you can take a picture, take a photo to have that photo go with this race. If you have all the people that you race with, you can take a picture of all of them. All right, the next setting for race is number of laps. And you have a slider. We can go up to 200 laps. If you just want to run a practice, slide it all the way down to 0, you'll get unlimited. The next slider is for time limit, goes up to 300 minutes, or again slide it down to unlimited. Now you can just play on your layout to your heart's content. Qualifier laps, not implemented yet. Jump start penalty, I haven't tested that, but I think that is implemented. Yellow flags, we remember what that is. That's our track call, so we can turn that on. Now, where is the setting for how we're going to initiate a yellow flag? It's in the general configuration menu. Okay, what's going to happen when we have a yellow flag? That's yellow flag's type, and we click on that and we see we can either stop or we slow down. We slow down to the slow calibration speed. So however you like to play. Yellow flag's penalty can be none, or you can slow the car down that called the track call, or you can have a time penalty. I haven't played with the time penalty to know exactly how that works, but and I usually just say none. But for this purpose, let's say slow down, and now we can control the yellow flag penalty time. What will be the period of time that the car slows down? And the maximum period is 5 seconds, the minimum period a half a second, and of course I usually go with just no penalty for calling a yellow flag. Next, if you want to do pit stops, you've got to turn on at least fuel usage. And if you also want to do pit stops for tire wear, you've got to turn on tire wear. You can see you can have tire wear on acceleration, that's when you're squeezing the controller, braking when you let off the controller, or both. And remember where we set the overall rate of fuel burn and tire wear, that's in the general configuration menu. Okay, incidents are not implemented yet, but I guess they're going to be just like in the regular Scaly app. Weather also not implemented yet. We jumped over KERS, but obviously turn on KERS if you want to use KERS. And remember, KERS is a power boost, right? But there's only so much power available, so when you turn on KERS, your max power gets reduced a little bit. You can only get to max power when you're using the KERS. And then there'll be a time for the KERS to refill, and that's set in the general configuration menu. Okay, start mode, you have two options, dead or live. With live, the cars can roll before the 5 lights go out, and you can get a jump start penalty. With dead, the cars won't roll until the lights are all out and we're ready to start the race. Race end. 3 types of race end. Clicking on it. There we go. Standard, immediate, and everybody. With standard, each car runs until it crosses the finish line after the winner has crossed the finish line. So it may be a second behind, it may be 3 laps down, whatever. It runs until it crosses the finish line after the winner has crossed the finish line. With immediate, as soon as the winner crosses the finish line, everybody's power shuts off. And with everybody, it means the power is not shut off until everybody completes the required number of laps for the race. So 3 different modes there. And those are our race settings. In the next video, we'll look at how we make settings for individual cars, pace cars, and drivers. And the race now will become part of our database. The next thing that we'll move on to here is select car and select drivers, but we haven't added any cars or drivers yet. So we'll do that in the next video, and thanks a lot.